Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. You've worked hard your whole life. You're about to retire with a pension coming in every single month. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I think I'm good. But are you sure? Because here's where most people get it completely wrong. They spend years obsessing over one number, their 401k balance, their net worth, that magical figure they think they need to hit. And they never stop to ask the real question. How much is actually hitting my bank account every single month? That's the shift we're making today. Because cash flow, not your balance, is what actually buys your groceries, pays your electric bill, and funds that vacation you've been dreaming about. Now here's something that'll blow your mind. A monthly pension of $1,600 to $1,700 is economically equivalent to sitting on a $500,000 investment account. Think about that. If you're receiving a pension right now, you are already sitting on $500,000 worth of value. That's a gift, and you've earned it. But here's the thing, and this is why you need to keep watching. The game has completely changed for 2026 and beyond. Inflation is real. Costs are rising, and your pension, as powerful as it is, could quietly be losing ground right under your nose. So today, I'm going to walk you through 5 critical things every pension retiree needs to know. These are the risks most people find out about too late. Let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Imran, the instructor of finance courses and data analyst.
Let's start with the one that nobody talks about until it's already too late. Inflation. And I'm not talking about the kind you see on the news. I'm talking about the slow, quiet kind that doesn't make headlines. It just sneaks into your lifestyle and steals a little bit every single year. Here's the problem with most pensions. They're fixed. You get the same check every month. But your expenses, they don't stay fixed. Groceries go up, insurance goes up, utilities go up. So while your pension holds steady, your purchasing power is shrinking. Year 1, it's fine. Year 5, you start to feel it. Year 10, you're cutting back on things you never planned to cut back on. That $4,000 monthly budget you sat down and planned out, when people actually look at their real historical spending, and I mean really look at it, it often comes out to $5,300 or more. That's not a small gap. That's a financial leak that gets worse every year. Now let's talk about something that is genuinely heartbreaking and something most people were never warned about. Your pension is a gold standard benefit. I mean that. But here's what the paperwork doesn't tell you clearly enough. When a spouse passes away, your household income can drop by 30 to 50%. Let that sink in. You could go from a comfortable $4,000 a month to $2,000 or less overnight, while your expenses barely budge. The mortgage is still there, the car payment is still there, the utility bills don't disappear. This is why I always tell people you need to run your numbers in 2 scenarios, life together and life as a survivor. Because if you've only planned for the first one, you've only planned for half of retirement. Let's talk healthcare, because this one catches almost everyone off guard. The average retired couple will spend around $300,000 on healthcare costs throughout retirement, and that number doesn't even include long-term care. Now here's where people get catching slipping. They hear Medicare and think they're covered. And Medicare is great, but it doesn't cover everything. Dental? Mostly out of pocket. Vision? Out of pocket. Long-term prescriptions? Can add up fast. And long-term care? A private nursing home room can run $100,000 per year. Per year! If you or your spouse needs 2 or 3 years of that care, you're talking about a $200,000 to $300,000 expense that Medicare does not cover. This is why having a dedicated healthcare fund separate from your pension isn't optional, it's essential. All right. Let's talk taxes, because this one catches people completely off guard. Your pension check might say $3,500, but that's your gross. Uncle Sam wants his cut before it ever hits your bank account. Pensions are taxed as ordinary income at the federal level, and depending on which state you live in, your state might be taking a slice too. So that $3,500 pension, by the time taxes come out, you might be looking at $2,800 or even $2,600 in actual take-home pay. And if you also have Social Security income, a portion of that could be taxed too, depending on your combined income. This is why building tax-free income streams like a Roth IRA is such a powerful move for pension retirees, because every dollar you pull from a Roth is a dollar Uncle Sam can't touch. And this brings me to the fifth and final threat, the one that ties everything together. Your pension is a starting point, not a finish line. Think of it like a foundation. It's strong, it's reliable, but you can't build a whole house on a foundation alone. You need walls, you need a roof, you need backup systems. A pension without a plan is still a gamble. What happens if costs spike? What happens if one spouse passes? What happens if a major medical expense hits? If your only income source is your pension, you have zero flexibility. The people who retire with total confidence are building what I call flexible income layers. That might look like a Roth IRA for tax-free withdrawals, some dividend investments for passive income, or even some meaningful part-time work in the early retirement years to keep cash flowing and give yourself a buffer.
Okay, you now know the 5 threats, so let's talk about what you can actually do. Step 1. Run the survivor stress test. Sit down with your numbers and ask, if my spouse were to pass away tomorrow, what does our income look like? What are our expenses? Is there a gap? If the answer is yes, and for most couples it is, then you need a plan to close that gap. That might be life insurance, it might be savings, it might be a Roth conversion strategy, but you need to know the number before you can solve the problem. Step 2. Build a healthcare fund. Open a dedicated account, separate from everything else, specifically for healthcare costs. If you're still working, a health savings account is one of the most powerful tools available. Triple tax advantage. Contributions are tax-deductible, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for medical expenses are tax-free. If you're already retired, even a simple high-yield savings account earmarked for medical costs gives you a buffer. Step 3. Add flexible income layers. Start building income sources that aren't fixed. Roth IRA contributions, dividend stocks, even a small side income. The goal isn't to replace your pension, it's to build flexibility around it so you're never backed into a corner. Step 4. Review your tax situation. Sit down with a tax professional or financial advisor and look at your full income picture, your pension, your Social Security, any investment income. Understand what's getting taxed, what rate you're paying, and whether strategies like Roth conversions make sense for your situation. All right, let's bring this all together real quick because I want to make sure this sticks. There are 5 things every pension retiree needs to have on their radar. Number 1, inflation. It's quiet, it's slow, and it will shrink your purchasing power if you let it. Number 2, healthcare. $300,000 is the average cost for a retired couple. Medicare doesn't cover everything. Plan for the gaps. Number 3, long-term care. $100,000 per year for a nursing home. This is not covered by Medicare. Have a plan. Number 4, taxes. Your pension is taxed as ordinary income. Know your take-home, not just your gross. And number 5, diversify your income. Your pension is your foundation. Build flexible layers on top of it. Listen, I'm not telling you any of this to scare you. I'm telling you because people who see the risks coming are the ones who handle retirement like a boss. You've worked too hard and too long to let any of these silent threats catch you off guard. Now here's my question for you, and I want you to drop this in the comments below. Do you already have a plan for any of these 5 threats? Which one surprised you the most? Drop it below. I read every single comment. And if this video helped you see your retirement picture a little more clearly, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.